People, Deluded, I'm back again. Now, at this point, you've all seen that Monchi, however you want to pronounce his name, isn't going to be coming to Arsenal. There's strong reports that he's going to return to Seville, and it's a case of when, not if, an official confirmation allegedly is going to come on Monday, which, to give you context, I'm doing this on Sunday morning. It's about 8 a.m. So, yeah, we've missed out on that. But Overmars could be coming into the club. Now, I'd be all for that. Admittedly, the first thing is, obviously, away from scouting, we need the best innovative individuals. We need the best accountants, the best businessmen, the best financial planners, project managers, all of these fancy things that goes into football. We need the best. And Overmars is one of the best directors of football. From what I read and from what I say here, but what I'm looking at and reading and building up just as a fan, my opinion, all of it goes towards the business end of stuff rather than the scouting. Is that Monchi, whatever you want to say his name is, he clearly does both, but when you listen to him or read things of him, it's more to do with the scouting, and not more to do with the scouting, but you get a bit more in regards to the scouting, in regards to this, that, how they build up reports. You see what I'm saying? Overmars, you still get that. Clearly, he's in charge with the scouting, but from what I see, it's actually Velleman, I hope I've said his name, that more does the scouting operations, and he's more the businessman. Don't get it twisted. Again, when it comes to scouting, Arsenal, I don't think we've ever had a problem. It's getting deals over the line, getting them done, identifying the target, knowing there's interest from several other clubs, but getting it over the line, whether that's paying more money to the agents, paying more money in installments quicker, paying more in installments, just getting the move done. So we do need people that can cross the T's and dot the I's, to which Overmars would be that. If he can come and do that together with Raul Sanye and obviously I'm not going to name everybody that's about at the club, we can move forward in a good direction. How good, I'm not sure, because again, with all of these great individuals coming into the club, the ethos has to come from the man upstairs. Stan Kroenke has to send a manifesto that he wants to win or do major things, or it's not going to happen really. So yeah, I mean, I'd be up for Overmars. Like, I'm going to say the typical reasons. Obviously, we weren't here long, but he's a former Arsenal man. He obviously knows what the club is about. He obviously the challenge of assisting us to bring us back to that elite level, or touching that elite level closer than we was. There's that. No disrespect to Ajax, but the attraction of London being involved within a Premier League club would be great. Ajax are in the Champions League and stuff, and that's great. But maybe he feels that not the period in Ajax, but his period of Ajax is coming to an end, and he just wants a new challenge. And to be fair, you could see the attraction. For me, even if he is a businessman, it just gives us the strength in other areas, because Raul Sanye allegedly has got strong contacts in South America, and you're seeing him exercise his Barcelona contacts to get Suarez for the deal we did. Allegedly, Overmars has got strong contacts there, and obviously, you look at Ajax, they've got a few South American players. The best one's probably, the best example off the top of my head is probably that Neres guy. They were in for Richarlison before Watford beat them. So if he's able to spot and identify these targets, or utilise his contact list or contact book, because that's what people forget goes into scouting. People actually think Mislintat's sitting there and he can say, oh, there's a centre-half in Poland playing in the east, playing at 12 a.m. on the east side of the country in Poland. Let me go and look for him. It's contacts. It's calling people at these local clubs, or having a good contact list to utilise, or having good coaches and scouts and a network in several places where you can call upon. That's all scouting is. Obviously, you need to be able to identify targets and stuff, but 9 times out of 10, there's that. So if he's got strong contacts, you never know what edge that could give us, people. You look at the targets, like they got Ziyech, I can't say his name, we all know who he is. He's been around for a minute, but he looks to have been good business, and he looks to possibly be sold on. You look at a couple of Ajax continuously reproduce, they get it torn apart and they bring back these players. De Jong's obviously gone for 75 million. They bought him for what, 800,000 or £1 million. That's a pretty decent profit if you ask me. So as much as I don't want Arsenal to become into this just a business, which we are, we can't underestimate that, because if we claim to be self-financing and we are able to sign players from South America, get around work permits for players that are in Senegal, for example, the cycle of football is true. If they're playing to a good standard, a very good standard, like I feel with Guendouzi and Torreira one day, the Madrids, the Barces, etc. are gonna circle, and we can't always hold on to players. You need to sell players. I'm sure Liverpool fans, they probably won't admit it now, but they'll take Coutinho back with open arms. I'm sure they were vexed when Coutinho was left, but that's the model of football. Barcelona are a better side, a more prestigious side than Liverpool. Coutinho wanted to go. Obviously, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, but he wanted to go. They got their 100-odd mil. It got reinvested, and to be honest, obviously, if they don't win the league title, it doesn't make sense. But you could say it's money. Well, not that it doesn't make sense. I was going to say they've used it to win the league title, but that doesn't make sense to me. They've used it to revitalize the squad, because again, it's not as direct, but that money, and I can't even remember the periods, but that money, Van Dijk 75, they eventually got 100 odd for Coutinho. Do you see what I'm getting at, people? The self-financing model, you've got to be able to, you cannot get around this as an Arsenal fan. I would like you to bring Gravenbeck with you if you're going to come to this club, but to be fair with you, and probably Univar, but that's about it. So you could see it. The one thing I am wary of though is, in fact, before I get onto that, like I said in the Monchi video, surely a chief scout or someone in some sort of head of recruitment position. Don't get hung up on the title, people. Surely there's another role to come, because as far as I know, Mislintat hasn't exactly been replaced. I know there's rumours about Kagio, I can't even say his name, stepping into that role, becoming a director of football in his own right. But I do think there's going to be not only a director of football, but some sort of scouting operation, some sort of scout. I know you know what I'm getting at. Some sort of scouting person going to come in as well. That's just what I think. It's not a fact. I'm just a football fan. That's what I think, innit? The one thing I'm wary of as well, people, is having too many people with strong opinions, because you've got to think about, if you're leading a project and you're a strong-minded individual, obviously everyone has to be strong-minded, but if you're a strong-minded individual, I'm a strong-minded individual, my man there has strong opinions, my man there has strong opinions, and these people are not always open-minded or willing to concede a next man's idea at the expense of theirs, because we've got to remember, this is exactly a job, people. You've got to put yourself in your 9 to 5, your office. You've got your managers who, pardon my language, and I hope he's not watching, but you've got some managers who are just dicks, some people who just kind of just waste away, some people who are just in it for the power sort of thing. You've got to think about all the mind games you see in your own 9 to 5 office, or if you're not in an office, on a building site or wherever. You've got to think about it, and you've got to consider that at that level, because it will happen. Because think about it, like Mislintat, everybody's governed by self-interest. Mislintat had a good thing going for him as the chief scout. He wanted to elevate himself to a next level. The club didn't want to let him, so he wanted to bust out. And he's probably going to end up going somewhere where if it's not the role he wanted, where he has more power. Do you see what I'm saying, people? That is what happens in life. Like, you've got to remember. So I'm wary of not only that, but you've got Sanye, you've got obviously Kroenke. His opinion is the only one that matters, because he runs the club essentially. But you've obviously got Sanye, you've got Francis, who's allegedly there. You've got Overmars. You've got the Vinay guy who's with Raul Sanye. You've got other people about that have strong opinions. And if everybody's got a strong opinion, the club faces... I'm not saying this is going to happen, people, but the club faces being pulled in several directions. Because if he's saying go north, he's saying go south, he's saying go west, and you're saying go east or whatever, what direction would the club go in? So I love innovative individuals and strong-minded people, but you've got to be cautious. Again, this is just my opinion, and I'm not looking outside, and I'm actually not saying this is the case. I just give you all of my thoughts, people. I'm all for Overmars, to be fair with you. To be fair, like anybody really, like just get it sorted, to be fair with you. Apologies for shaking it. Just get it sorted, man. Just really get it sorted. Allegedly, it won't happen to the end of the season, because Ajax are adamant they're not letting him go to the end of the season. So, and to be fair, we're in March. It's almost April, so there's a month or two or just over that to go. So it's not really much to read into in regards to that. Probably buys Ajax a bit of time. If he was to leave tomorrow, I wouldn't say it would put Ajax in turmoil, but they've got to dedicate energy to finding a replacement. So at least this allows them to put the wheels in motion and things like that. To be fair, Overmars has been linked with us for a couple of years, so I don't know whether to read into this being truth, but allegedly Monchi or whatever is not coming to the club, so this will only intensify these rumours. And to be fair, I mean, you could even paint more of a question, because if you was Overmars and you really wanted this job, and a part of me would think I'm not going because I'm not doing second choice stuff for no one. You wanted Monchi, never got him, you got to get someone else. But you've got to think, if you really did want this, circumstances have opened where my man, the first choice, isn't going to come. There's a chance for you. You're going to grab it with both hands, with two hands. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it develops. I don't know what to say, but I've just given you my opinions, people. So on that note, I'm going to keep it moving. People, Deluded. Get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest if you wish. I'm out, though.